Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Millie and I love indie makeup, especially shiny, shifted, sparkly eyeshadows. And today I'm going to be talking about a new palette from What's Up Beauty, and it is the Geodes palette. And here's what the packaging looks like. It is a nice, cute little smaller palette. Now this brand actually launched their very first palette last year, and it was the Desert Monsoon palette. And this is what that palette looked like. Here's the inside. It was full of some beautiful neutral matte eyeshadows and some super beautiful sparkly shimmery shades. And so they originally started out actually selling nail polishes. So of course they do have some nail polishes that go along with the palettes. And what they do, they actually match the nail polishes to the shades in the palette, so you can match your nails to your eye look, which is super, super fun. And What's Up Beauty is an indie brand that's actually based in Arizona, and I believe they have a store. So if you're in Arizona, definitely check out the store. So let's take a look of the inside of the Geodes palette. It is full of a beautiful, beautiful, super shiny, metallic, delicious looking shimmers. That really is what captured my attention at first. And then we do have like a pop of yellow. It is like a more grungy yellow, olivey green, and two other neutral mattes. And of course I'm going to be showing you some swatches. And this palette is launching this Friday on April 15th. And there's also going to be matching nail polishes. I am currently wearing two of the shades actually layered over each other on my nails. I'm wearing Earthlike layered over Rhodonite, and those are two shades that are in the palette. And the non-metallic nail polishes are matte finish. So they do also have a gloss topper that you can purchase, so you can make them glossy if you would like. And I did receive this palette as well as the nail polishes in PR, so thank you so much to What's Up Beauty. So I'm going to be creating 3 looks with this palette, and then I will give you some of my thoughts at the end of the video. first I'm going to talk about the nail polishes. Obviously, I've only used 2 shades so far. I did 1 layer with the matte polish, and then I layered 2 coats of the Earthlike shimmery polish over it. I want to mention that this is actually kind of gritty, so you definitely want to layer at least 2 coats of the glassy top coat. Otherwise, you're just going to feel the grittiness. So I only have 1 layer on this hand. Actually, I still have to put on the second layer, and I can still feel like a little bit of grittiness. And personally, I don't really prefer that. I also feel like it's just going to get caught on things. I'm not sure yet if the other shades are like that, but that is something to keep in mind if you don't like something that might be a little gritty and you have to layer a top coat. But I think most people will be putting on some sort of a top coat, no matter what nail polish it is. I can't wait to use this green one. So let's talk about the palette. I absolutely love the packaging. It is just so nice. I mean, the previous palette was also really nice, but this one, just something about the texture. It just looks so sleek, and I really like this size as well. It's just so cute. And I believe the previous palette was $41, so this was probably going to be around the same price. And it is made in Italy and assembled in USA, just like the other palette. And the metallics in here, I cannot get over these metallics. They're so stunning. They don't accentuate skin texture. They really give you that pow. I think some of them are a bit more topper-like, just even from swatching them. I could tell, for example, citrine and rose quartz as well as crystal. They actually remind me a lot of the shimmers that are in the Mercury Retrograde palette and the Quartz palette from Huda Beauty. They look very similar in the pan, and I'm actually really curious to compare them now. Editing Millie here, I'm actually going to do a couple of comparisons because they're definitely very similar in texture. Some of these shades, for example, Crystal from the Geodes palette compared to Cosmic Love from the Rose Quartz palette. This one is one of those swirly shades, but I think it's a little bit similar. And then Earthlike, while it does look a bit different in the pan from Blissful, I'm going to do a comparison for you anyway. And then I'm also going to compare Rose Quartz to Joy and Self-Love. And then in the Mercury Retrograde, the shade Supernova. Crystal from the Geodes palette. Here's Cosmic Love from the Rose Quartz, and Moon Magic from Rose Quartz. So a little bit of similarity, especially in these two, but there is obviously a bit more of a base in the Crystal shade from the Geodes palette, but the texture feels pretty much the same. Here's Earthlike from the Geodes palette and Blissful from the Rose Quartz palette. You can tell that they're pretty different, and texture-wise they also felt a little bit different. Earthlike has more of a reddish brown base, while Blissful is more of like a cooler tone brown almost, and they do have a different kind of duochrome shift. Next up is Rose Quartz from the Geodes palette, then Joy and Self-Love from the Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty. The tone is a bit different, you can see that. Joy's a bit darker and more red versus pink, and then the shade is not even close, but I just thought I would compare it in there. I thought it had a little bit of a pink tone to it. Last up is Agate from the Geodes palette and Supernova from the Mercury Retrograde, and these are basically the same. I mean, they feel the same, they look the same, I think tone-wise even. If anything, maybe Supernova is a bit darker and Agate is just a little bit more sheer. And here's Shameless from the Naughty palette. This one is much more sheer, but these are just so beautiful. And if you use some sort of a tacky primer, I was using the Fyrinnae Pixie Epoxy, you can build up the shimmers to be more opaque, so more like what they look like in the pans. The mattes are so nice. I remember being really pleased with the mattes in the previous palette. They were super nice. I think my only con with this palette is I wish it had one more deeper shade, even deeper than Terra, just because the other palette had 2 nice deeper shades in here, and you know, I like to deepen out my outer corner, so that's really just a personal preference. But otherwise, this is such a beautiful palette, and I cannot wait to play with it more. Definitely stay tuned for a reel I will be filming. I plan on using either Agate or Amethyst in said reel, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. But if you love super beautiful foiled metallic shimmers and blendable creamy mattes, then you're really going to enjoy this palette. I'm really impressed, and while the mattes are a little bit on the neutral side, I love that there's the pop of yellow, and also the metallics are just, they give me that sparkle, and because there is a nice variety of shimmers. So those are my thoughts on the palette and on the nail polishes. So let me know in the comments below if you're interested in this palette. Did you pick up the previous one? What do you think of it? I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. There's so much indie makeup content operating my channel and much more to come. You don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.